So let's talk about common positions where we see this combination of hip extension and knee flexion. As we mentioned, if I don't have that range in the rectus femoris, or the hip flexors themselves, the psoas and iliacus, or I have just a chronic anterior pelvic tilt, from a patterning standpoint, I may experience difficulty getting into certain positions. And so I want to introduce a few common positions and patterns that we might see that are uniquely related to each other. The first is what I call the lunge or half kneel position. So again, it's really common in this position to kind of default into this anterior pelvic tilt position where my low back is extended, hips are rolled forward, my chest is high. Generally, when I'm in this position, I'm going to be lengthening or putting on tension the rectus femoris. One of the things that I like to drive in this position is a hip rotation, right? Without the hips going forward, so actually tucking hips back, okay? Making sure my back toe is pulled under or dorsiflexed, and getting my chest back away from my hands. Okay, again, generally, we're gonna see this extension of the T-spine as well. We're looking for hips come back and back. My big toe is planted and firm in the ground, squeezing my glute. Chest comes back from my hand, so actually my torso, my rib cage are stacked over my pelvis. So again, should feel a good amount of tension through that anterior thigh. The second piece is also as simple as a glute bridge, right? If I extend my lower back here and bridge up, I'm using my back to extend. Versus if I can tuck my hips under first, pull my ribs down, right? And then come up and purely use hip extension. Okay? We're also gonna see this in lunge or split squat archetypes. So again, if I'm in this position and my chest is extended, my low back is extended, as I come down, I'm feeding into this extension pattern or anterior tilt pattern in my lower body lifts, okay? So again, from a patterning standpoint, we can also see overhead lifting or limitations in range of motion lead to further extension and anterior rotation at the hip. For example, if I'm missing shoulder flexion, to get my hands overhead, I can extend right through my lower back, which might feed into that pattern. So again, when we're looking at limited test, it's not just about restoring the test to restore the test. It's about understanding what movements, what patterns, what positions could be contributing to that.